Om Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम नमो नारायणाय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय। Hari Om. Today is a very beautiful practical topic that we all need in life, a very important lesson which we all need to understand and try to practice for our own well-being, for our own peaceful existence in this world. Okay. Last class we saw meditation. We saw about meditation. A man perfected through all his spiritual sadhanas and then gaining enough purity, hearing, doing the shravanam of the supreme knowledge from his guru, reflecting upon it and meditating upon it, comes to the realization of the truth and becomes a perfected being, a Siddha Purusha, a man of perfection. So for us, the truth of the Gita, the truth of the teachings of the Upanishad lies, the full faith comes in viewing, in interacting, in seeing or hearing about the lives of these masters, these perfected souls. Then only we gain even faith in our own scriptures, isn't it? So they live as testimonies to what is said in the scriptures. The realized master's life serves as a testimony to what is said in the scriptures, and what they speak becomes scriptures. So they say, Siddhakasya Lakshanani, Sadhakasya Sadhanani. A perfected man's characteristics becomes benchmark, sadhanas for a true spiritual aspirant. Whether one is wise or otherwise, all beings in this world, everyone has no choice but to live in this world. Once we have come, we have to live in this world. And at any given time, one has to face only three things in this world, in his life. What are those three things? A, B, and C. A, articles, B, beings, C, circumstances. That is, at any point, one has to deal with circumstances, situations, various situations, or face different persons, beings, whether animals, insects, or human beings, different beings. And there are always objects, articles around. So these three things are there in this world. The world is made of these three things. So once we are into this world, we are the subject, and all these things making the objects are the world. Articles being circumstances, that's what make the world. One has to live in this world interacting with these. So how does a wise person live in this world, this very same world, which presents the same ABC to the wise man and to all of us, to the ignorant? How does the wise, the perfected man view these? How does he interact? How does he respond and conduct amidst or amongst this ABC? This serves as sadhana for an aspirant, for us, for a spiritual sadhaka. These become very important lessons for us who are in this path of spiritual pursuit. So let us go from the reverse order, that is C, circumstances. throughout Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna talks about the perfected souls, realized masters, a prema bhakta, a parama bhakta, a parama jnani, and gives the jnani lakshana, sthita pratya lakshana, parama bhakta lakshana, interspersed throughout the Gita, which serve as very important lessons for us. So what state of mind he has and how is it known to us? Through their speech, through their conduct and behavior, we get a glimpse into their state of mind, right? So let us see, first starting from how they handle various circumstances. See, circumstances. Situations do come in life, but whether we look at them as just situation or problems or crisis depends on how we evaluate and how we consequently deal with them. Life presents only circumstances, isn't it? But how do we view them? How do we evaluate? And how do we deal? That's what makes a situation, a circumstance, or a problem, or a crisis. See, when a fruit is squeezed, what will come out of it? If I ask you, you will ask me what fruit? It depends on the fruit, isn't it? If it's mango, mango juice will come. It will be sweet. If it's a ripe man. If it is some other thing, if it's a lemon juice, if it's a lemon, lemon juice will come, which will have its own sourness. Right? So when a fruit is squeezed, its essence alone comes out. When we are squeezed in life, in situations that give us pressure, stress, what comes out of us depends on what are we made of. What is our substance? What is our essence? Is our inner core mature? Is it bitter or sweet? So what is inside alone will come out during these trying, difficult situations. And all these situations always come in pairs of opposites, duality, we say. And we experience at all three levels of our personality. That is, at the physical plane, with our body, we experience these pairs of opposite as like heat and cold, comfort and discomfort, hard, soft, so on. At the mental, emotional level, we experience as joy, sorrow, pleasure, displeasure, joy, sorrow. At the intellectual level, at that plane, we experience these situations, these pairs of opposites, as honor and dishonor. Take something as praise or insult and feel honored or dishonored. So this is how these situations present themselves as pairs of opposites, as duality, and we experience them, we come to contact these situations at all three planes of our existence: physical, emotional, and intellectual. Our own heart, how does it beat? We say lup tup, right? So a flat line means death. Lup tup, those spikes going up and down. Curves means life, indicates life. Similarly, in world also, these life situations are not a flat line. They come as ups and downs as various waves. That indicates life. Variety is the spice of life. See, does anyone love to watch only comedy movies or only tragedy movies or only adventure movies? No, we want varieties. We enjoy varieties. One time you want to watch something funny, one time you want to watch something serious, something romantic, something adventurous, something action-packed. And sometimes we want all these experiences in one movie itself. But we don't want only one rasa throughout the movie. No movie can be made like that. Such a movie won't be successful also. When such is the case with entertainment itself, in our life, how we can expect everything to be just a bed of roses? It will come as pairs of opposites, as ups and downs only, because that is life. That's what makes life interesting. Otherwise, without any challenge, it can be just plain boring. Who will be inspired to live such a life? But our response to those ups and downs should be a flat line, should be very balanced and peaceful. Jitatmanah prashantasya. What is that? Shitoshna sukha dukeshu tata manapam manayoho prashantatma prashantasya. So one should be prashanta, peaceful, and samahitaha, very balanced. Very balanced. Our responses should be out of peace and a balanced, equipoised mind. Not being tossed up and down by those waves that keep coming, but as a balanced and peaceful responses. How is that possible? Is it possible at all? Yes, it is possible, and it is possible when one has mastered oneself, when there is complete self-mastery, self-discipline, and self-control within, then those responses, whatever may come as ups and downs, waves, but the waves will affect something in the ocean, not the lighthouse, isn't it? The lighthouse stands firm, shedding light on all the waves and all the things that are going up and down in the waves. Do we want to be the lighthouse or like the bottle god on the that goes up and down with the waves in the ocean? When one has complete self-mastery, then one is like the lighthouse. So we cannot say that these waves should not come. One cannot enjoy the ocean. The waves will come as ups and downs. Gurudev calls them little pinpricks of life. Little pinpricks, he says. These heat, cold, comfort, discomfort, joy, sorrow, pleasure, displeasure, praise, insult, honor, dishonor. They are the spices. They are like these waves. They will come and go. These little pinpricks. But if we let them sway us, if we get swayed by these situations, then we will be doomed. For example, just at the physical level of this heat and cold. Heat and cold, it is alternate. It will keep coming and going. If we keep adjusting the knob of the fan, of the AC, thankfully now they come with remote. Otherwise, one has to go and do this. That was better, no? Then we, okay, chalta hai. If this is what it is, you change it once, then you're lazy to go and change it. You live with it. Now you just sit here and keep changing, keep changing, keep changing. Sometimes it's too cold, sometimes it's too hot. Can we do any work efficiently if we keep adjusting this, opening the window, closing the window, adjusting the knob, adjusting the AC button, wearing something, right? We can do certain adjustments and then settle down and has to focus on work. Every second, if we keep adjusting these things, how can we be efficient in our work? Even as we sit for meditation, we can do certain adjustments and sit. And then we have to accept as it is, bear with it, endure it, and focus our mind somewhere else, which is higher, which is subtler, which is deeper, which is inner. Not on these externalities. Isn't it? So also our body, mind, intellect, they will keep facing these ups and downs because life is like that. They will keep throwing these situations which will have these waves. But let's not keep changing these. Oh, keeping body healthy is important. Looking pleasant is important. But how much should one polish the BMW, fuel it, polish it, and just keep it? One should use it, isn't it? One should use it. Similarly, if we keep adjusting these internal or external situations and external comforts, keep changing it. That's all we do in life. 1 minute. Doesn't matter. She cannot hear even if I shout from here. Okay. So these situations which come as pairs of opposites, if we make that run our life, our entire life, and all our energy and time will be spent on just adjusting these external things, just so we feel comfortable, we enjoy pleasurable things, and we feel a certain joy. Happiness, feeling joy is not the goal of life. Feeling comfortable, feeling joy, and feeling honored, that's not the goal of life, is it? If we keep that, I want to live this life so that I feel honored by everybody. Everybody should honor me and always praise me. And I should always be comfortable and always healthy and always enjoy pleasurable things, have fun, and live a joyous life. At all these three levels, at the best, alone, that can never be. We will only end up in disappointment. And whatever we do pursuits, whether it is education, job, or in family, getting settled, marriage, having children, working, all our savings, even the entertainments, vocation, everything is towards this. Everything is towards this. Just keeping the BMI cozy, happy, comfortable, honored. We have to understand that these are instruments for a higher purpose and focus on larger than life things. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when he was sent on exile to the forest, he was just as happy as he was the previous night, just a few hours earlier, when he was told he would be the king. He would be crowned as the king. So the kingdom or the forest didn't make a difference, didn't make even a small dent in him. Isn't it? If he was only after the comforts of his life and about his pleasures and about those petty joys and happiness, what would have happened? He realized that these things will keep coming and going, even if it is for a shorter or a longer duration. They are temporary. They cannot be permanent. And what is important is dharma, which is much above joys and sorrows, which is larger than life and death itself. So I will focus on that. Dharma, my duty as a king, my duty as a father, as a son, that is what I will focus on. So he focused on dharma, on duties, and did it in the best possible way. That's why it's called Purushottama, isn't it? So with that understanding, what is that understanding? First of all, realize that as long as we have this equivalence of body, mind, intellect, at these three different planes of existence, we will have to experience this world, which will throw these pairs of opposites. Always it comes in pairs. It cannot be a flat line. Ups and downs only. That is first realization. Second, therefore, this will come and go. Even this will pass away. Even this will pass away. So understand, either as this is temporary, this will pass away, or accept it as God's prasad. This is God's will for me to go through this situation right now. This is God's will. It's all God sent. It is to make me strong within. Then nothing will be looked upon as sorrow or as difficulty. Everything is a gift. Everything is a situation only, no problem or crisis, because it is God sent. It is God's will. It is meant to make me better, not bitter. Or the other way to look at it is, these are my own past actions. So how I face it will create my future. So let me focus on the present. How do I deal with it? How do I face it? So that I make a better future out of it. So out of jnana, you understand that this is only temporary and pass away. There are greater things in life. I should focus on that which is above all these ups and downs. Dvandvatitaha, gunatrayatitaha. I am that. So focus on this is temporary. Let me not go up and down in this and waste my time and energy. These are only equipments. They are going to face this. Let me rise above it. That is jnana. Or through bhakti. These are all God sent. Okay, everything is a situation. No problem, no crisis. Only meant to make me better. Or look at it from karma point of view. My own past actions. Why am I cribbing? Why am I complaining? Deal with it in the best possible way so that my future, because present actions will make my future. So focus on the present. Any which way we look at it, but this should make us rise above them, stand apart and witness it like the lighthouse on the shore and not as a bottle god in the waves of the ocean. Rise above, stand apart, witness, be detached, and focus on the larger things, the higher, nobler things. My life, this time that I have, these equipments that I have are meant for higher purposes, not just tuning and experiencing joys and pleasures. That's not the goal of life. People insult, whether they praise or insult, is just like a blabber of a child, or, like the delirious blabberings of a person who is maybe drunk or insane. Will we give importance to the words that come out of a mad person? Will we give importance to the prattle of a child? That's that much importance to what other people think or say. So this is with respect to situations. Then with respect to beings, A, B, C, we saw C. Now we will see what is B, beings. Okay. Beings, the world is made of beings, yes, human beings and other beings also. And man is a social animal. So all beings we have to face, interact with. Our dealings with different beings becomes complicated because we interact at different levels. Certain people interact at the physical level, go by the appearance of people, go by the appearance of the beings, how they look, and interact at the level. Okay, this person looks beautiful, gives importance to the physical appearance and interact at the physical plane. Some interact at the mental level. Those who have evolved a little bit just don't go by the physical appearance. And try to interact with them, know that person, speak with them, have a conversation and get to know the mental, emotional makeup, whether this person is good, whether this person is a friendly person, loving person, kind person. What is the mental makeup? Some go by the physical makeup, some go by the mental makeup. Right. Others interact at the intellectual level. They don't care whether one is short or tall or man or woman, fat or thin or good or ugly. At the physical level doesn't matter. Child or old doesn't matter. Emotional level also, whether one is a good person or bad person, angry person or a calm person, doesn't matter. At the intellectual level, what is his wisdom? What is his genius? They interact at that level. Okay, so we ourselves interact with different persons at different angles, at different levels, isn't it? But at all three levels, we assess a person, and we also have these different personalities. That's what makes interactions with human beings or other beings very, very complicated. But what is the interaction of a realized master, of a perfected being? How do they view? How do they evaluate? How do they interact? How do they conduct themselves? with other beings of these various types. One person itself is at different levels, different personality. How do they interact? Right? From the spiritual standpoint, from the spiritual viewpoint, at the core, they view all as just the reflection of one pure consciousness, one pure awareness. These are all just different reflections, that like the sun's reflection on different pots, different pot sizes, different, it depends on the pot, on the container, on the condition of the water in the container. Everything is going to be different. Some is going to be bright, dull, muddy, wavy. Some are calm, bright, doesn't matter. These are only reflections. He sees the varieties, doesn't mean that he does not see the varieties. A perfected soul sees the varieties and appreciates the varieties also, the different, the diversities and the varieties he appreciates, but sees the one self in all, sees oneness in all, sees all the waves and the ocean as just water, but at the same time appreciates the waves and the froth and the bubbles and the foam and the big picture of the ocean and the small intricacies, everything he enjoys, but sees the one water as the essence of all, like that. Seeing the oneness doesn't mean he goes and hugs snakes and tigers also. So this should become our sadhana, meaning I treat everybody the same, all beings the same. So that means I should have the same love towards an insect, towards a rat as I have towards my child. Can I go and hug all these different creatures, different types of human beings also? Doesn't mean that way. But to understand from the spiritual core that one essence alone is in, from the smallest being to the highest, noblest being, understanding that, and then understanding each one's variety, nature, appreciate it, but deal appropriately, deal appropriately. Have no false expectations. See, in nature, we appreciate, isn't it, these varieties. Nobody likes a snake which does not hiss. One goes to the zoo and one expects, if they see a crocodile park or a snake park or a zoo and sees a tiger, one gets excited upon seeing a tiger behaving like a tiger that roars and walks ferociously. But if a tiger is like a cat meowing, will it be fun? Will one accept it? Will one appreciate it? No. We know, we understand its nature, and we just accept and love it for what it is. But doesn't mean we go and hug, although there are masters, who can really even interact with tigers and wild animals and love them and even pet them. They are at a different level. But I'm saying at our level as aspirants, this is how we should view. Nobody expects a mango to be bitter or a bitter gourd to be sweet or a lemon to be sweet. Sourness is what makes lemon a lemon, right? But why do we have these expectations out of human beings? This person should be good, should be soft-spoken, especially with our parents, with our spouses, with our bosses, with the ones who work under us. We have these expectations. Should be truthful, should be loyal, should be punctual, should be perfect in everything. Our child should be A class in studies, good in behavior, this, all these expectations. But what are our own expectations on ourselves? So many expectations, right? So just as in nature, we accept these varieties, these various beings as they are, understand their nature, but deal with them appropriately. So also in human beings, they are of different varieties. At different levels, they can be different personalities. Understand and appreciate the uniqueness in everybody, the diversities, but deal appropriately. So don't have any false expectations. Deal appropriately means what? First thing, understand that everyone is unique. Everyone or every being has a right to live. Everyone wants to be happy and everyone wants to be loved, not just us. One understands, one will say, I am unique. Why do you force me to behave in a certain way? Why do you force me to take up this education? I want to study that. I want to be unique. I want to pursue a different career. I'm not like everyone, right? We talk like that way about ourselves. And we have a right to live. We want to be happy. We want to be loved. It is the same with every being. Everyone is unique. Everyone has a right to live, express their feelings and emotions in their own way. And everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be happy. So understanding and accepting this and respecting all for what they are, as they are, and loving everyone for what they are. This is what complete acceptance is all about, right? So, Suhrit Mitraryu, what is this? Suhrit means well-wisher. Mitra is a friend. One Ari is an enemy. Dveshi is one who hates us. Then there is Udasina, one who's neutral. Madhyastha, one who mediates. There are these different people we may meet in life, or a person himself can be a friend at one point and become an enemy at another point. So an enemy can become a friend can become an enemy. All these different relationships are possible. But to know how our relationship should be with these different beings, understanding their nature and dealing appropriately. For example, we can take like a film director, a film director. There are different characters. There is a comedian, there is a hero, there is a heroine, there is a villain. Does he hate the villain? He cannot hate the villain. He sees the diversities, he enjoys each character, he accepts them all, he loves them all, he deals with them all, enjoys and appreciates. That way, when we view view people around us and behave accordingly. Someone hates us or someone wants to really hurt or harm us, doesn't mean we have to go out of the way and hug that person. We can try to make them understand and be friendly, but if it doesn't work out, it's okay. Stay away, ignore, proceed. So different things have to be dealt with. No one can say you have to do this alone at all times with all beings. That cannot be the law, isn't it? We have to use our own discretion, but the bottom line is do not hate anyone. Do not hurt or harm anyone. Don't have false expectations. Just have that acceptance and handle that person. A snake will hiss. This person's nature is to what? Is to be angry or that's his nature. Okay. I cannot handle him too much. I cannot spend too much time with him. I cannot be his friend, but I'm not going to hate him for his nature. Maybe he'll come around. And I'm not going to change my response towards him either. I'll be me. But how much time and how much interaction and relationship I want to have with him will depend on his acceptance of me. Like that, deal with people. That's all. But don't hate. Hate the sin, not the sinner. They say, like that. See, when we are at the plain, looking at the grass and then those tall trees at the borders, these are going to be very contrasting. But when one soars high in the plane or a helicopter, then this contrasting differences are not seen. Everything looks the same. So also when our vision goes high, deep, subtler, one sees everyone as the same. Same oneness, the same divine principle, divinity alone is in all. Same thing in bhakti. Bhagavan alone has come as all these beings to give me these various situations. So therefore, accept, understand, appreciate, deal appropriately, and move on. Don't hate, don't hurt, don't harm anyone, and don't have false expectations or attachments either. That's all. It's a journey. Different kinds of people will come. It's a journey. Let's try to be good, do good to others. Help each other out in this spiritual journey. That's all. With that outlook, with that vision, if we lead, we can have a peaceful, balanced life. Okay. So seeing oneness in all beings, being equipoised in all situations. C, B over. The next is what? A, articles. Articles. Various objects. First of all, we have to understand that this world is not meant to give us sorrow. It gives us experience, varied experiences, varieties of experiences, but not sorrow. Sorrow is what we create. And actually speaking, happiness is our nature. It is what is natural to us. Sorrow is not natural to us, which means we have to work to become sad. We have to work for it. Sadness to feel sorrowful. Yes, that's true. That's true. See about various times when we have felt sadness or sorrowful, or the sorrow of others. Someone is sad, saying, I have no shoes. Someone says, I have no bike. Someone says, I have no car. Someone says, I have no leg, no legs. The sadness is the same. Whether one says there is no salt in this kanji, or whether one says there is not enough sweetness in this milk sweet. So this kind of sorrow, a beggar might have lost his begging bowl and is sad and sorrowing. A king has lost his kingdom and is sad and sorrowing. These may look as different things, but in their sorrow, in their sadness, they are one. Same thing in happiness also, they are one. To an outsider, one thing may look petty, another may look very serious. But in sadness, they are all one. Isn't it? A child cries for a toy. A man cries for a Toyota. That's what Guruji says in a rhyming way. But their sadness is one. Their sorrow is one. So the sorrow is the same. And happiness also is the same. But understand that therefore, the sorrow and our idea of happiness, okay, these keep, that only we keep creating this sorrow. We really work for it. Even death only gives us shock. But if it is death of someone who's unrelated, it's a different experience. Of someone who's near and dear, it's of a different experience. Right? So what makes this difference? So we all understand that when we study the Gita, there is this intellectual appreciation. We have to be equipoised in situation, see or everything the same, equal, equipoised, equanimity. There is this intellectual appreciation. This is called jnana. How to be in these situations, how to be in this, how to view these varieties of articles, beings, and circumstances. This is jnana, intellectual knowledge and appreciation. But this has to become our wisdom, vijnana, and our intuition. That comes as we reflect, and when we see these situations in life, how do we apply and make it part of us? Okay. So what Gita says is, all these articles or objects that we face in life, everything has a value. Everything has an objective value and a subjective value. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, something is made of gold, something is made of stone. Something is made of gold, something is made of stone. A gold has a certain value. What is the rate today? Isn't it? But then what is the shape of the gold? If the gold is a bangle, and if the stone is the idol of Shri Krishna, right? Now what is the value? And especially if this is the Krishna of Guruvayurappa temple, of Padmanabha Swami temple, Udupi Krishna, what, like that. And this may be gold of whatever, and made filled with gems and diamonds, whatever it may be. What is the value now? Isn't it? So there is an objective value of articles, of objects, of what they are made of. Okay? Then the gold itself, if it's a ring, and the ring is the wedding ring that has been presented to me, then that will have a additional subjective value. Is it? So the value keeps getting added and added and added, and keeps varying depending on how we view it. So when we say Samaloshtasma Kanchanaha, that is, a realized person, a perfected being, looks upon all these objects, whether it is a loshta, clay, ashma, stone, or kanchana, gold, all of them are the same to a wise man. Doesn't mean he uses a gold to throw at a person. Not like that. They understand the objective value. This is what, this is in God's srishti. Ishvara srishti, everything has its different value. There is a value. God has made these things more precious, a gold more precious than a stone. So the utility value is different. The objective value is different. He knows that. Not that he doesn't know, he's a fool. Not like that. He knows it, he appreciates it, he may use it in the right sense also. But doesn't mean he adds this subjective value and says, okay, he doesn't put a price tag on this too much. He does not give too much undue importance to this thing and says, one who has so much gold must be a rich man. So I like him. I need his friendship. Then I can be comfortable. Not like that. A person without this much earning or this much saving, he's a poor man, poor thing. What will I do with him? Why do I need his company? Looking down upon him. Such evaluations are not there. The objective value, utility value of things are understood, and they are taken up, they are utilized. Not that sannyasi, a renunciate, or a missionary cannot have gadgets, cannot have smartphones. Who is a sannyasi? Is using a laptop, is using a smartphone, he's on Facebook. He takes the flight, he takes a car. He uses them, he can utilize them, but doesn't mean he gives undue importance to it, is attached to it, or he values these things, the valuables, more than value. No such thing. Whereas an ignorant person, for him, these valuables are more important than values, than even people. People are so weird, they give importance to these valuables more than relationships, more than human lives also, right? There are so many quarrels and fights and even murders over petty valuable things. That's all. Valuables, gold, property, who owns this, who owns that. Relationships are broken. People are killed. Why? Undue importance to valuables. So values are more important and people are more important. Everything has its own place. It has to be utilized. It has to be given that respect. And everything is appreciated. He understands a sword has a unique utility and a needle has a unique utility. So both are taken, utilized for that matter. A sword is there doesn't mean I don't need needle anymore. No. When you need to stitch a cloth, you need a needle. A sword will not do. So each one, everything has its own purpose and utility. Just as space accepts everything without discrimination, so also the realized person accepts everything as it is and understands the values and appreciates the diversity. Someone asked Ramana Maharishi about another saint who always wears silk clothes. And he said, how can he be a saint and wear silk clothes? Ramana Maharshi said, for you it is silk, for him it is a cloth. That's all. Whatever the others gave, he wore. They gave silk clothes, he wore silk clothes. Cloth is a cloth. That's all it meant to him. Gurudev also, they say, this is heard, is often quoted to have said this. At one point when he was not very well, his idea was to have a tulabharam and maybe someone's suggestion and he accepted. Okay, they'll do tulabharam and raise funds. As many gold bricks as his weight will be raised through the funding, and that will be put as a fixed deposit. And Gurudev can do his lectures, take care of his health, and not go here and there too much and travel because his health was in a very terrible condition. So Gurudev, he did out of love, compassion for all those people. He said, okay, people worked so much, but at the last few kilograms of gold were so difficult to get. All the donors came forward, but at that time, Gurudev said, it's okay because the date was fixed. So others suggested, can we move the date because we've gathered so much gold. Still, this much is needed, and the date has come so fast. We need some more time, just a couple. No, 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 no. Just keep some brick in covered with gold wrapper. What difference is it going to make? Like that. Okay. So see how for him, it doesn't matter whether one approach as a wealthy person or as a poor pauper or a powerful person or just a servant. It didn't matter. Their power positions, those articles didn't matter. So that is what is a Jnani's vision. So for us to have that equality with respect to beings, what does it mean? First of all, we have to understand that no object or being that is finite can give us infinite happiness. No object that is finite or a being that is finite can give us infinite happiness. All these objects, these pleasurable objects, are made of these 5 elements. They will come and go. But actually, while we enjoy them, they drain out our vitality, the vitality of our sense organs. Every pleasurable meal, every pleasurable movie, any pleasurable entertainment and indulgence is going to give us some temporary pleasure, temporary joy. It's not going to be permanent. It will come and go. But while we are in that, it's actually draining our time, draining our vitality, wasting us and wasting our time and life. So doesn't mean we don't enjoy at all, but be moderate. That's what Bhagavan had already said. Make sattvic choices and be moderate even in those sattvic recreations. Okay, so understand all these objects are finite, therefore will come and go. They cannot give permanent joy. They drain our vitality, and time and life is ebbing only. It's not going to increase by having this food or having this entertainment or having this pleasurable intelligence. And all these are dukkha yonaya. If I get too attached to this and want permanent and infinite happiness out of this thing, this article, I'm going to end up sorrow. In sorrow only. Dukkha yonaya evate. Agamapainaha anityaha. Dukkha yonaya evate. They are the womb of sorrow. If I have false relationships, false expectations, and too much attachment, that indiscriminate relationship and attachment and expectation out of these finite things is only going to give me more and more sorrow and pain. Gurudev with a cup of coffee would have seen that quote. Who says there is no happiness in objects? But they are only temporary, like that he'll say. Understanding it, enjoy it, but don't become too attached. That without that cup of coffee, your day is gone, your health is gone, your mind is gone, head is gone, not like that. Okay. So understanding all these things without attachment, deal with them appropriately, use them, handle them appropriately, but don't give undue importance. So much other lessons also can be just as we reflect, there are so many things that can come out of this, because all we have is these ABC, and our own practical experiences are also there, which will give us this wisdom. So it's to be reflected upon again and again and again. It's a very, very beautiful practical lesson from Bhagavad Gita. Equipoise in all situations, seeing the oneness in all beings, and equality with respect to objects around us. Let's reflect more in our leisure. Let's reflect it again and again and again. We'll conclude here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.